Good evening, folks, and welcome to the live horror stream 8 The Reckoning. With me, I'm your host, Sean Patrick Urshan, in the Horror Corner. Welcome, everybody. We are live here on YouTube on this fine Monday morning. And you might ask yourself, why the heck is he doing a live stream on Monday morning when he should be at work? Yeah, normally I would be, but as you guys know, there is a pandemic out there called the coronavirus, and because of that, that's why I'm at home sitting on my ass. Yeah, because my job is considered non-essential, so all non-essential jobs have to stay home. Basically, that's what the government wants, and basically us to stay in self-quarantine or whatever. Like, don't worry, I don't have any symptoms or anything of the virus, none at all. I'm perfectly healthy, thank God. um, yeah, so if anybody wants to come and hang out with me in the horror corner, we are live on YouTube, just messing around. So welcome, everybody. We're gonna have some fun today, just messing around. I got a few topics to discuss. Welcome, Coffin Crew, to the show. I unfortunately lost my job Friday, says Coffin Crew. I'm very sorry to hear that, man. That really sucks. And it's very unfortunate what we're dealing with right now, you know? It's very upsetting at times. It's like, yeah, I mean, when this first started coming around, I was like, no big deal. People are just flipping out and losing, you know. But now it's something you can't ignore anymore. It's no longer something you can escape from. It's everywhere. And this is a real problem, you know. I walked through my the local center of town here, and is distressing to see everything just black. There's no businesses open. It's except for like Dunkin' Donuts, and that was like the only thing in the entire center, the main drag where everything happens. And there's nothing happening right now. No people around. No businesses open. It's upsetting. It's eerie. You know, it's like a ghost town. So yeah, Coffin Crew, I'm very sorry to hear that. I do still have my job at the moment, and I actually have two jobs. So the other one, my main job, is the one that's considered non-essential. So that's why I'm sitting at home for a while. But as soon as things calm down, I'll be going back. Don't know when that will be, but at least I know the plan that they set forth is 2 weeks, but who knows, you know? It could be weeks, it could be months, who knows? Coffin Crew says, yeah, it was unexpected, but now we just have to get through it. You know, the world has stopped. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. That is a good way to put it. The world has stopped. Yeah, it's sad, you know, it's a very serious thing, you know, and people have died, you know, and it's basically spreading throughout the world, and it has reached the United States, you know. That was always the fear that would reach the United States, and now this is something we're facing head on, and it's real. It's a pandemic. So this sucks, guys, but now it's, you know, that I didn't have before. Uh, so I'll probably be working on some more videos to bring to you guys live from the horror corner. Maybe do some random live streams like we're doing right now, just to hang out with you guys and shoot the shit. um, because I don't have really a hell of a lot else to do, you know? I'm not it feels weird, I'm not used to, um, not really have anything to do. I'm usually always go, go, go because I have 2 jobs, constantly working all the time. Coffin Cruise says we started with a 2-week quarantine, but it got extended here with us another 2. Yeah. So right now for me it's 2, but I'm sure it'll be more than that. There's no way that this whole thing is gonna be over in 2 weeks. There's no way. Maybe I'll end up working at home at some point, I don't know. But my second job is considered essential, so I am still gonna be working there, so at least I have that, to keep me busy for a while. I work there about 2, 3 nights a week, so that'll keep me busy. So, guys, if you're just joining us, we are live at the Horror Corner, and this is the live horror stream 8, The Reckoning. I like to give funny names like that to my solo live streams to make it sound like a horror sequel, like a typical horror sequel name, The Reckoning. That sounds like a horror sequel, doesn't it? I don't know what that means really, but that's what we're calling it. I did have a few topics I want to discuss, but mainly I'm just going to be hanging out with you guys. If you guys have any questions today, about anything really, this is basically a random live stream. I don't do this too often, but every now and then. And and I guess probably a lot of people at home right now either doing the same thing I do. If you're a YouTuber working on videos, you have more time to do that, or just chilling, watching movies, Netflix and chill. Binge watching streaming networks. But yeah, it's a crazy time. It's a sad time. It's a scary time, and it's like a movie. It's like one of those zombie movie so something, or one of those outbreak movies like Outbreak or Contagion. It's like a movie. It really is. Only it's real and it's really happening. So yeah, it's scary, but fortunately, it's something we do have to deal with now. There's no escaping it. There's no escape from the deadly virus. So yeah, if any guys are out there on YouTube, I know it's early. It's kind of unusual, I guess, to be doing a live stream this early. Usually, live streams people do it at nighttime when everyone's home after dinner and stuff. And I figure why not? The plus to this is I've been able to catch up on my personal life, just focus on me, which I haven't done in years, says Coffin Crew. That's cool, man. Very good to hear. Yeah, I mean, look at the positives of it. You can do things that you normally wouldn't have time to do, like clean your house, maybe clean your yard up, and stuff like that. Yeah, so I did a little bit of cleaning my room this morning. It's still a mess, but it's a work in progress. I got my car all washed and nice. I was surprised that was open actually. Is car wash essential? I got car washed and vacuum, which was kind of weird. I didn't think that was something that's essential. So yeah, guys, I just released my newest horror corner movie review of The Invisible Man from 2020. I did watch that last night with my family, my wife, and yeah, that's up on my channel if you guys want to check it out. I highly recommend The Invisible Man. I think it's an excellent remake, and just an excellent movie in general. Awesome horror movie with awesome suspense and tension throughout. Really cool, modern, and sleek. And you guys know I'm not a big modern horror movie guy, but I was impressed with this film. Yeah, Blumhouse Films came out with another home run, definitely. And it's unfortunate that they sent it to streaming services now, because I think this would have been a big hit otherwise, you know, because I think it was, when it came out, the number one movie, but the whole coronavirus thing kind of cut it short there. Kind of hurt it, I think. I guess it's hurting every movie out that's out right now. I know Disney's Onward, that was a big, uh, I think would have been a big hit if it wasn't for the coronavirus, like cutting it short. Well, that's another one. I did a review, and I did it with my little nephew, Sorry, if you guys want to check that out. Yeah, I reviewed a Disney movie, believe it or not. But I really enjoyed Onward. I thought it was fun. And most of the Pixar movies are really good. Obviously Toy Story, the Toy Story series. Everybody loves that. So yeah, I highly recommend The Invisible Man, and check out my review, guys. I tried not to do too many spoilers or give too much of the film away. I really didn't get into the events that happen in the film much, just kind of a general outline, but of what it's about, like the basic plot of it. But it was a great time. It was scary. And not too many movies these days are actually scary, but I think this one was. It definitely had some jump scares, like some of the typical ghost movies, haunted house movies you see, but it's much better than that. It was really well done. And the tension and the suspense that leads up to the jump scare is really good. So that's what makes it hit you and grab you. So yeah, definitely check out The Invisible Man, guys. Of course, that's based on the story by H.G. Wells, which we had the previous version of that with Claude Rains back in the day, the Universal horror classic, one of the Universal monster films. Which I love the Universal monster movies. You guys know that. I have so much respect for those, because without those films, what would horror be today? Without the Universal monster films like the original Dracula and Frankenstein and the Mummy and the Creature from the Black Lagoon and of course the Wolfman. All that stuff is great. Classics. I love watching those old black and white classics. Of course, you did have a few movies before that, like um, what was Dr. Caligari and obviously Nosferatu, which is really basically the Dracula story. But they couldn't call it Dracula because they didn't have the rights. And that's a classic. So you can't give all the credit to the Universal monster movies, but I think the bulk of it you got to give it up to Universal monsters. Gotta respect the classics. And I'm definitely an old school guy. I love classic horror. The old black and whites up through 50s, 60s. You had the Hammer horrors and all that stuff. Love that stuff. And the 70s was great for horror, actually. You had all kinds of stuff in the 70s, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Black Christmas. And you still had the Hammer horrors going. You had the weird, crazy, psychedelic movies like, Dario Argento's stuff like Suspiria and Deep Red and all that. The Giallos and Italian horrors. You had so much great stuff in the 70s. And then obviously the 80s. So I love all eras of horror, basically, including now. That's why I was so Now and then there is a new horror film that I fall in love with, you know? Now and then they come up with a good one. Actually, probably now is better in the past couple years than it has been since the early 2000s, I would say. This is a pretty good time for horror, you know? There's been some solid movies, you know, like Quiet Place. Yeah, it's another thing. Quiet Place 2 was is delayed, unfortunately, because I was really looking forward to seeing that. I was gonna go see it in the theater, and I eventually will when it comes out. If it does come out, who knows? I might just send that to streaming services, which would be a shame, you know? Want to see that on the big screen, a movie like that. Which leads me to my next topic for the day, Halloween Kills. I'm kinda getting worried, you know, is that gonna be delayed too? I was like, that's the one movie I'm really looking forward to this year, and then now with all this going on, the coronavirus, um, who knows? We might see that get delayed till next year, or who knows? Or they might send that to streaming services, which really suck because I gotta see Halloween Kills in the theater. Definitely wanna see Michael Myers on the big screen, not on the streaming app, you know? Want to see the blood up on the big screen. Michael Myers taking on Laurie Strode. Who knows? Could be the last time. We don't know, of course. And you got, yeah, I am really excited for Halloween Kills actually, and Halloween Ends. But will it really be the end? I John Carpenter himself doesn't seem to think so. He's like, don't expect Halloween Ends to be a true end, which kind of disappointed me because honestly, I do want to see a an a an ending to the Halloween franchise, a true ending, which none of these big franchises have had really. You know, none of them have had the true ending. I want there to be a true ending that is respectful to the franchise and that wraps everything up in a great way, kind of like Avengers Endgame type thing, or even what they did with Star Wars: Rise of Skywalker. There, wrap the whole thing up with great respect to the franchise, great respect to the characters that we know and love, and yeah, I mean it's gone on for long enough, in my opinion. It's gone. It's been over 40 years now. Um, yeah, just let's have it end on a high note with two really solid films, and then I'll just be in my glory. You know, I can just watch, and then eventually maybe I'll get the whole big box set with all of them, and then just binge watch them for hours and hours, which I pretty much do anyway. So if anybody's out there want to come hang out with me at the Horror Corner on this live horror stream on this fine Monday morning, or is it fine? I don't know, but at least it's nice outside. It's nice and sunny and warm, even though there's not that many people out there. But but if you guys are sitting chilling at home, want to watch something cool on YouTube, come and hang out with me. We're having a blast here at the Horror Corner. I got my new headphones and my microphone, which I really am enjoying. It's making my live streams much better. I think last week we did a great live stream, the horror hangouts, and I had, you know, the classic lineup. We had the horror miser Monty G in the house. We had horrific nightmares JM. We had Bronco Juggalo talks movies, Dave Maggot, and Jen and Christian. And we had a discussion all about John Carpenter's career, and I thought that came out. I thought that came out great. You know, I thought that was one of our best shows. And yeah, I was really happy that I had the mic and the headphones working, and I was able to say what I wanted to say, and everybody could hear me. I was happy about that, and it came out really good. We had some great discussions. We covered a lot of ground, even other than John Carpenter. We talked about the Evil Dead franchise. We talked about what's not the Evil Dead, the Exorcist franchise. Sorry about that. Yeah, we talked all, but we did a little retrospective on the Exorcist franchise. So guys, definitely check out the Horror Hangouts live stream, the John Carpenter special from last week. It was an awesome show, and I'm very proud of it. And I'm very proud of all the Horror Hangout live streams we've done since the beginning. It's been a blast. And, it's one of my most proud achievements here on YouTube. Getting to work with these fantastic YouTubers that I love and that have been following for a long time, and the relationships that we've built together, it's just amazing. And to be able to work closely with them and hang out and have a good time and laugh, it's just an amazing feeling. And talking about the movies that we love, and seeing what their opinions are and their feelings are on certain horror films and certain directors and actors and all that. It's such a blast. I love hearing other people's views on things. It's awesome. So yeah, that leads me to my next topic of the evening. I actually do have a few topics. I'm not just freestyling it, which I could do if I wanted to, probably. I thought I'd have some guidance. So yeah, next thing is I wanted to give shout outs to some of my favorite YouTubers out there, and suggest for you guys to subscribe to these awesome YouTubers, that are some of them are friends of mine that I've followed with, maybe some of the people from the Horror Hangout, and just a bunch of YouTubers that I just enjoy watching, like Boogeyman Ben. He's got a fantastic show that he's one of the first guys I started following and becoming friends with. And he's always been nice to me and supported my channel and what I do. I've tried to reciprocate and do the same. So definitely check out Boogeyman Ben's channel. He's awesome, awesome guy. Definitely check out one of the most underrated channels on YouTube, and that is Rob's Collection. Definitely check out Rob's Collection. He's one of the funniest guys out there, so entertaining, and he really knows his stuff. He knows his horror, and he knows movies in general. He doesn't just do horror, he does all kinds of stuff: drama, comedy, action movies, like the Sylvester Stallone movies and Arnold Schwarzenegger stuff, everything. He knows all. Definitely check out Rob's Collection, one of the most underrated channels out there. Criminally underrated. Oh, and there's a few new YouTubers, at least that I'm new to anyway, and that is guys like Sean Blue Digital, HNS Collectibles, some great YouTubers like Mark of Horror is one I've just found out about recently and become friends with him. Mark of Horror is a great guy, very generous. He sends stuff out to people for no reason other than to show support. And he's like myself. He loves the old school classics. He loves like the Hammer horror films like me, and the old Universal classic and monster movies, as well as today's films. He knows his stuff big time. And of course, Horrific Nightmares JM is amazing. You won't find a guy that's more knowledgeable on the horror genre, right? He really knows his stuff, especially when it comes to slasher movies. Not too many slasher movies that Horrific Nightmares JM has not seen. He puts me to shame. I thought I thought I had seen a lot of slasher movies until I've seen channels like Horrific Nightmares JM and guys like Joe the Horror Man. Uh, it's just unbelievable with that, especially 80s slashers. I don't think there's a single slasher movie that's been made that the Horror Man has not seen. Another excellent YouTuber that I've been following for quite a while now. I think he's got a couple of years on me, actually. I think he's been around for about 10 years or so. I've been around. I've been around now for 8 years. Can you believe it, guys? uh, I had another channel before this present one that I did for a while. Why I changed that, I have absolutely no idea. I can't even remember if there was a reason why I shut that off. I have no idea. My previous channel, it's Sean Urshan, I think, in lowercase letters. I forget. But you can see some of my early reviews and stuff. Very grainy and old school looking. But I had some good reviews on there I'm proud of. Did a lot of the classics on that. Let's see who else. Obviously Dave Maggot McDonough. He's a filmmaker, he's a film director, and he does the score on his movies a lot. Yeah, he's a musician, he's been in heavy metal bands and stuff. Uh, awesome guy, extremely knowledgeable. That's another guy who's an expert on slashers. He made his own slasher movie called Groundhog, so check out Groundhog from Dave Maggot. Coffin Crew says, did the same, had a previous channel, but scrapped it, yeah. The funny thing is, I don't even know why. Maybe because I got a new camera and I was like, oh, I got a new camera, maybe I'll do a new channel. Seems kind of silly. But yeah, guys, I'm up to 55,000 views on my channel. I'm very proud of that. Someone actually pointed it out to me and I was like, oh, snap. That's not too bad. Some people actually watch my channel now and then. That's nice to know. Yeah, and I want to start focusing on setting a goal of 600 subscribers. I know 500 was like my ultimate goal, and when I reached that, I was just blown away. But now that I'm kind of getting closer to 600, I want to kind of get there, like the little engine that could. That would be fantastic if I could make 600 subscribers. That's like a dream. I think we will get there at some point. And hopefully when that happens, I'll do like a giveaway, a contest, like I did when I reached 500 subscribers. Yeah, I'll definitely do a contest giveaway when I reach 600 subscribers. Maybe I should just do one like a lot of people have been doing, the road to 600 subscribers. Do the contest just to help try and get subscribers. Maybe I could do something like that. And that seems to work for a lot of people. Anyway, some more shout outs. Obviously, the horror miser Monty G is a great YouTuber, very knowledgeable, and he recently celebrated his 3rd year on YouTube. And he has reached over 1,000 subscribers. So yeah, he's awesome. Great guy, and it's an honor and a privilege to have him on the Horror Hangout live stream. Also, Jen's Reviews from the Grave, another underrated channel. I love those guys. You got Jen and Christian, a mother and daughter team. Mother and daughter, I'm sorry, mother and son. Jen and Christian. Christian is Jen's son. Sorry about that. Sean. So definitely check out Jen and Christian and the channel Jen's Reviews from the grave. Awesome YouTubers, and they're very up on the newest movies. That's probably, I'd say, their best talent is they're really up on the newest stuff and the independent horror. They're a great channel for independent horror and the movies maybe you don't know about, and they recommend a lot of newer films that are kind of underground, like independent stuff, like the Wild Eye movies and things like that. Uh, and of course, they know their classics. They just kind of focus on movies that maybe people haven't seen, the average horror fan may have not seen, which is great. It brings awareness to the independent horror and the underground horror stuff. That I'm not really an expert on that, honestly. I'm not probably not the best person for that. Honestly, I don't really get into the underground horror stuff too much. I just kind of like an old school classic kind of guy. That now and then I check out a newer one. It's kinda how I've always been. But if a lot of times I have found out about movies through got people like Jen and Christian and Jason at Horrific Nightmares, JM, that I've gone and checked out and I've loved. Like, a good example of that would be The Burning. I didn't know about that movie until a couple years ago, until I started seeing people do reviews on it on YouTube. And I was like, "Oh, this a lot of people like this, so I'm gonna check this out," because I had never heard of The Burning, honestly. And man, it's like, what was I thinking? Why did I miss that? Because I don't recall seeing that in m the video stores when I used to go to the local video store. I don't remember seeing The Burning but man, that movie's awesome. You had the great special effects work by the great Tom Savini on that one. And he left, he decided against doing Friday the 13th Part 2 to work on The Burning. He didn't believe in Friday the 13th Part 2. He thought it was a silly idea that Jason was gonna be going around killing people. He didn't like the idea, so he did The Burning instead. Um, and because of that, we got 2 great films because he was wrong about that because Friday the 13th Part 2 is absolutely awesome. So, we got 2 awesome horror movies that year, Friday the 13th Part 2 and The Burning in 1981, which is one of the greatest years ever in horror, I would say. Not only did you have awesome slashers, you had awesome horror movies in general. You had the 2 classic awesome werewolf movies, American Werewolf in London and The Howling, which I love both of those. Yes, Coffin Crew said, "I need to get Dave some." Yes, absolutely. Contact Dave. I'm sure he can get you a copy. I got my copy signed by him and signed by Matthew Fisher as well, who I believe was the producer on the film. And yeah, Groundhog Day is a really cool and fun slasher from Dave McDonough, who directed and did the score, and he also acts in the film. He has a pretty big part in it, actually, and he's really funny in the film as well. He does a great job. It's a really fun slasher movie. Yeah. So some more shout outs. A couple of the early people I've followed, like Lisa Loves, who was on some of my earlier horror hangouts. She was one of the original members. And she's actually not feeling too well right now. I think she's in the hospital. So sending prayers out to Lisa Loves. Hope you feel better and hope you get well soon. And I know you've kind of quieted down on YouTube. She doesn't really do the horror stuff anymore. She kind of does some true crime videos, which are really interesting. So If you're into true crime stuff, check out Lisa Love's channel, and you could always go back and watch her earlier stuff where she did horror movie reviews and stuff like that. And let's see, we have horror metal. We have Hellhound from the Horror Metal channel, who I've followed for a long time now, and I think he's been around a little longer than me as well. And he's a fantastic YouTuber. We have a lot in common. We agree on so many things when it comes to horror movies and movies in general. And of course, heavy metal. We're both big fans of heavy metal. Uh, like, look at me right now. I'm wearing Slayer's t-shirt. We're both huge metal fans. And that's, his channel, horror and metal. Two awesome things. Two of my favorite things in the world, horror and heavy metal. I could just as easily do a channel all about heavy metal, just so you know. Speaking of that, me and Hellhound from Horror Metal are going to be doing a tag video all about heavy metal. So keep an eye out for that. That's going to be a really good one. We're probably going to do it as a live stream. That way, we get to, it's more of a collaboration and we can, and everyone can hear each other's thoughts and opinions on the subject at hand, heavy metal. Another thing we agree on a lot is heavy metal. We have a lot of the same taste in bands and things like that. Vocalist, who's your favorite vocalist and guitarist and all that stuff. Really fun. That's going to be a blast. So be on the lookout for the heavy metal tag that we're coming up with. It's going to be called Metal Up Your Ass, which was supposed to be the original name of Metallica's Kill 'Em All album, if you don't know. And I thought that'd be a perfect name for it. I wish they called Kill 'Em All Metal Up Your Ass. Maybe that wouldn't be appropriate. I don't know. Okay, so more shout outs. Let's see, who else can we shout out? Mr. Movie Massacre, another one of the early horror hangout buddies, and we're still good friends to this day. He's got an awesome channel, very, very creative, especially with the visual and camera effects, and he does acting stuff, and he's always wearing the crazy mask, and he's so much fun, and he's absolutely hilarious, really funny guy. So check out Movie Massacre on the Movie Massacre Show. Amazing channel, really fun. Another guy I've been checking out recently, H&S Collectibles. Mark of Horror. I already mentioned Mark of Horror. There's just so many people. I'm like having a brain fart right now. Check out Coffin Crew is in the chat right now. Papa Jupe is another good one. Very underrated channel. Adam Paul Beaumont is a great channel. Check him out. The Australian horror channel guy. Brother from Australia. Another guy from Australia that's awesome is Andrew Ballina. So definitely check out Andrew Ballina's channel. Another guy that loves horror and heavy metal big time. And he does a lot of shows about metal sometimes as well as horror. Oh, what's up? We got the Soulless Trench Coat. There's another guy that has a great YouTube channel that I've recently found out about. Really fun, really knowledgeable, really cool channel. Check out the Soulless Trench Coat. Welcome, Soulless Trench Coat, to the live horror stream 9, The Reckoning. This is the 9th solo horror stream that I've done. The Reckoning. I always have fun with this doing, like, a solo live stream so I could just chit chat with you guys out there personally. I'm good, man. How are you? Oh, yeah, check out the Trash Picture Show, who has his sci-fi horror tag out there, which I'm going to be working on that today, Mr. Trash Picture Show. I hope to anyway. Yeah, he's got a great tag out, and he's got a great channel, very knowledgeable on sci-fi and horror. He loves like the action figures. He's always got the newest action figures coming out of like the Alien and the Predator and comic book characters and stuff. And he does cool stop motion videos using the action figures and stuff. Like really cool. Just chilling, man. Same here. I'm not working at my main job right now. They are on lockdown due to the coronavirus, of course. I am doing my second job because that's an essential job. But my main job is considered non-essential. So right now I'm staying at home because of that. And we'll see how things go. Who knows? Yeah, Marty is cool. Yes, definitely. And of course, I got to mention Queenie Todd. There's a really cool channel that I've followed for a while now. She's been on YouTube for about 4 years, I think, maybe going on 5 right now. Queenie's awesome. And she's always doing live streams with a bunch of other cool people. And she's really artistic and creative. That's one thing I really respect about her because I at one time fancied myself an artist, but those days are long gone. I did go to art school and stuff. And yeah, I was really into it for a while, and I thought that was going to be my career at one point, but stuff happens. I did really get into it for a while, and I did have some freelance jobs, and unfortunately I never landed like a solid 9 to 5 job doing it, unfortunately. I maybe didn't go the route that I should have gone because I love comic book art and stuff, so I should have gone to. There was a school that I really was gonna try and go to called the Joe Kubert School of Comic and Art and Cartooning Design. That's what I really should have done. I think that was my calling, but I ended up going to an advertising design type school, which really is not my passion per se, but it's probably is where the jobs are, but I don't know. And maybe that's why it didn't work out for me because my heart, I don't think, was really in it. Do I still have drawings? Yes, I do. I have a bunch. I have done a couple of videos on that too, showing off my artwork. If you want to check it out, I think it was called My Works of Art, Volume 1 and 2. If you go back to my playlist and history, you'll see those videos showing off my artwork. Yeah, again, Queenie Todd, very, very creative, and she also does some very informative videos about dealing with her chronic illness, which is very interesting. And yeah, Queenie Todd, great YouTuber. What else we got? We got let me look at Random Ross, Random Horror, awesome YouTuber who's one of the first people I followed. He's been around for quite a while. And he was one of my first friends here on YouTube. Love Random Ross, Random Horror. He's got 2 channels actually. Random TV and Random Horror. Random TV, he does a lot of other stuff like TV shows and sci-fi stuff and talking about comic book movies and things like that. Definitely check out Random Ross, guys. Random TV and the Random Horror channel. Check out both. Let's see, look at my, phone here. One of the big YouTubers I follow is Dave McRae. There's a lot of the big ones that I follow that kind of inspired me to do this. People like Dave McRae, We Watched a Movie, Drum Dums, Chris Stuckman, people like that, Jeremy Johns, and those people kind of inspired me to do what I do now. Granted, this is just a hobby for me, but it feels like more than that because I don't make money off this or anything. It's just strictly a hobby, but I love it. This has kind of become my art now because I don't actually draw and paint anymore. This is kind of my passion now. This is my hobby and what I love to do on the side when I'm not doing real life stuff. Oh, of course, I wanna mention Bronco Juggalos. I gotta mention Bronco Juggalo Talks movies. I've been friends with for a long time. He's a great YouTuber, and he's part of the Horror Hangout live stream. Awesome guy, and he is a juggalo. He loves ICP and all the psychopathic records artists like Boondocks and guys like that. And he knows his horror. He absolutely knows his horror. He knows his slasher movies. He loves his independent stuff like the Wild Eye movies. Yes, I've heard of Myers Fan 25. I know him. He's been around quite a while. A fellow hardcore Halloween fan for sure. Out of all horror, I think Halloween is probably the most that I'm most knowledgeable about. And I seem to get most views whenever I'm talking about Halloween. I guess because I'm so into Halloween and the franchise. People seem to respond to that. Those are probably some of my most watched videos whenever I talk about Halloween and Michael Myers and Dr. Loomis. Anyway, guys, I'm having a blast chatting with you guys out there in YouTube land. Oh, another guy I've recently found is really cool is Anthropomantic Fiend. So check out his channel. He's relatively new to YouTube and he's really good. He's really knowledgeable and he's super smart. I'm like amazed how smart this kid is. He's just a kid. He's like, I think he just hit, uh, I think he just hit 18. But he's like so smart. I'm like blown away by this kid. Yeah, passion does shine through. Thank you, sir. So check out Anthropomantic Fiend. Check out people like Hobbs Horror, HNS Collectibles, Chucky Doll, Need Gore is really good. He's also a rapper. He does a lot of his own music and stuff. As does Digest Horror Digest is another one like that. He's become a rapper too. He's doing his own music. And he started out as a horror YouTuber just like me. Mr. Wicker, of course, is great. He's funny. Another really funny guy. Another British dude. Really funny, really cool, and he really knows his underground horror for sure. Definitely check out Mr. Wicker. Awesome guy. And he has his own Facebook page too for us YouTubers to go and share stuff, which is I really appreciate that. So I really appreciate that, Mr. Wicker, that you have your own Facebook page for us fellow YouTubers so we can promote our stuff and get it out there for the masses to see, the horror fans out there. Also, YouTube Horror is another great YouTuber, another Australian guy. Gabby Hernandez, I've been a fan of for a long time. Of course, Cody Leach is one of the bigger horror YouTubers out there. Late Horror Show is another one of the first people I became friends with here on YouTube, and they've always been supportive of me and always been very nice to me and generous and kind. So the Late Horror Show, check out that channel. Awesome channel, and like me, they love the classics, the horror classics, the old black and white movies, the old Hammer films, and the old monster classics and stuff like that. Awesome stuff. So definitely check out once again, Three from the Grave is another channel, which is a collaboration between Movie Massacre, Ben from the Cadaver Club, and Angela from Morbid Heart Designs. Soulish Trenchcoat says he's gotta go. Have a nice day. Thank you very much for joining us here, Soulish Trenchcoat. Thanks for stopping by. Guys, check out the Horror Addicts channel as well. And they are really helpful to the horror community. They're an asset to the horror community. I think they're always promoting other people, and they even do a whole big series of live streams every year to promote like every small YouTuber, and that's just awesome. Really cool. So check out Gory B Movie and Daily Nightmare at the Horror Addicts channel. So guys, if you just join us right now, I'm doing some shout outs to fellow YouTubers that I really enjoy. Oh yes, yes. Soulish Trenchcoat mentioned what's also Wolfman's Got Nards is another huge horror YouTuber that I've followed for quite a while. Another hardcore Halloween fan. I mean, this guy has videos out every week about Halloween. He's a huge Halloween nerd like me. Obviously, so is it's funny how many, horror YouTubers out there are hardcore Halloween fans, specifically, like Drum Dums and Dave McRae and people like that, and, Wolfman's Got Nards, so they're, like, hardcore Halloween fans. I think that's awesome that they're that specific and they love Halloween franchise, the beloved Halloween franchise. Oh, yes, the Trash Stash is another one I recently come on to. Awesome, channel, really cool, really fun, really funny, and you got Hey, Isn't That Devon Graham is another really good one. That guy's really knowledgeable. The Geek Legion of Doom, is one of my, earliest friends on YouTube, really cool guy. Another British guy, really fun, really cool, and he does a lot of the independent stuff, some of, like, the B movies. He's like an expert on the B movies, the really fun, silly, kinda cheesy stuff. So if you guys love stuff like that, Us Only, I was trying to think of the name, which Soulish Trenchcoat mentioned. Yeah, I just started watching his channel, Us Only, guys. Us Only. Oh, yes, and Sinister Cinema Reviews is really good channel. He really knows his stuff, and, he's got some great reviews, and he gets really in-depth on his reviews. I mean, his reviews are usually, like, 20 to 30 minutes long. He really digs in deep to the horror films, and I really respect that. I love it when a YouTuber can get down and deep into the horror genre. And you have Mr. Strange Monkey Reviews, who was previously part of the Three from the Grave channel. Excellent YouTuber. You got Horror Fan 88, as well as Horror Fan 34. Both great channels. You got Adeline's Horror World is a great channel, Phil's Creepy Videos. Oh, yes, and I have to mention Rusting Willpower is a fantastic channel that is criminally underrated. People subscribe to her, please. She is so good. She is so funny and so creative. I love Shannon over at Rusting Willpower. One of the best channels out there. And if you guys want to laugh your ass off, she's so funny and very, very knowledgeable in the horror genre. Absolutely. I know she does a lot of podcasts too. So if you guys love that, stuff like that, check her out. Criminally underrated, criminally. And Mr. Michael Myers 101 is one of the first uh, people that I became friends with on YouTube as well. He hasn't been doing so much lately, but you can certainly check out his older stuff. Again, another obviously with a name like Michael Myers 101, obviously he's a hardcore Halloween fan. And I've had him once on the Horror Hangout live stream. A great guy, really cool, really fun channel. Yeah, so oh yes, and Christian Hannah Horror is another big time horror channel that I watch. I have watched for a long time now. So yeah, guys, it's amazing. 8 years on YouTube now. It's I just gotta say, I love doing this, and it's always been a blast. Such a fun time doing this over the years, and I can't even believe it's been this long now. 8 years. That's right. I started back in 2012 when I had my first official YouTube video, and it was showing off my Halloween collection, which was like pathetic at that time. I think I had like 5 Halloween movies at that time, and I that was like my first video showing off my Halloween collection. I barely had anything. It was like pathetic. Luckily now I got a much better Halloween collection. I do have all of the films on DVD or Blu-ray or whatever. Some I have multiple of. And I got my Halloween action figures and posters and all that stuff too. I freaking love Halloween. In case you didn't know, just in case you didn't know that already. So my next topic was going to be some future plans for the channel that I have. I always have ideas for stuff I'm going to do, but one thing I've been thinking about for a while is starting a wrestling show on my channel. Because that's another thing, like heavy metal and horror. I do have quite a bit of knowledge on those things. I have equally the amount of knowledge for professional wrestling. I followed professional wrestling my whole life since ever since I can remember. I don't remember not being a fan of professional wrestling ever. Actually, there was a couple of years where I stopped watching it, where which just got silly for me, which was the early 90s, like 90 and 91 is when I kinda got tired of it, because there was a lot of stupid, silly stuff going on in WWE. Like, once they started doing stuff like the Repo Man and Papa Shango, that's when I stopped watching. I was just like, "This is getting stupid now." But then I started watching WCW, and they started building the momentum, you know? And then they had, of course, came out with Monday Nitro, and they signed Hulk Hogan, and then stuff really started, they started becoming competition with the WWE, which, of course, at that time was WWF. And then, yeah, we were off and running. That's when wrestling was like the hottest thing out there in the world. And that's another scary thing when you see wrestling right now with no fans in the audience because of the whole coronavirus thing. That's crazy. But yeah, so that's one of my future plans. I think I would like to start a wrestling show on my channel as well. And I'm going to be doing trash picture shows, sci-fi tag, and also Random Ross's horror tag called the Body Horror Tag, which I thought sounded really cool and fun to do. Definitely going to be doing that one, Mr. Ross. If you guys are just starting to join us, I know it's early on Monday morning. It's 11:30 or so. I know most people do their horror streams at night and stuff. Right now I'm just kind of bored hanging out on my first day at home because of this coronavirus thing. I figured I'd just do a random ass live stream. So if anybody's out there and you want to ask me some questions or you want to just hang out and shoot the crap, come on down. I'm gonna be on for a little bit longer, maybe another half hour or so, maybe 20 minutes. If anybody has some questions for me, topics you'd like to discuss, I'm welcome to have you. If there's another YouTuber out there you want to join me for a bit on the stream, that's cool too. But yeah, what else I was gonna think about doing my channel? Might do a heavy metal show or something. Well, I actually have been doing that now and then. I do my heavy metal talk and rock talk, like I did show about Rush and Slayer and all that. Top 10. I've been doing a lot of top 10s top 10 Slayer songs, top 10 Metallica songs, top 10 Pantera songs, and shows like that. I have a lot of fun doing that. I even did the top 10 Neil Peart tracks, so rest in peace, Neil Peart from Rush. I'm a big Rush fan, guys. Huge. Rush was the first band I ever saw live, and I was been a huge fan ever since then. And that was back in 1992, which when you think about Rush, that's not that long ago in their career. That's kind of the tail end of their career when you think about it. The Roll the Bones era. They've been around since 1973, but even before then, before they came out with their first album, they were a band for a long time before that. And then back then they had a different drummer, John Rutsey, and even before that, they had other drummers and stuff before that. They were literally kids when they started Rush, Alex and Geddy Lee, Alex Lifeson. If you guys ever get a chance, certainly check out the Beyond the Lighted Stage documentary on Rush. It's absolutely incredible retrospective on their career. I love it. So definitely check out Rush's Beyond the Lighted Stage. I also got recently Slayer's new video, which is half live concert and half like movie. It's like a horror movie about Slayer, and it's really cool. Got some horror veterans star in that, like Derek Mears, and part of it is the music videos they did for the Repentless album, which was their Slayer's final album. And I've really come to enjoy that record. At first, I kind of thought it was okay, not really like a classic, but I've really been getting into that lately. Considering it's their final album, that's the last album we'll probably ever get from Slayer is Repentless. Oh, and granted, you didn't have Dave Lombardo on there. You had Paul Bostaff returning, who I really enjoy as well. I love Paul Bostaff's work with Slayer. He's done some excellent work on the kit. Um, I might even have a hard time deciding who I like better, Paul Bostaff or Dave Lombardo. I'm sure most people would say the original drummer, Dave Lombardo. He's certainly the most influential, one of the most influential drummers in metal, Dave Lombardo. No question about it. But I think Paul Bostaph had, dare I say, a more creative style. When you start getting into his stuff that he did on Diabolus and Musica, which is probably the most reviled album in Slayer's career. But his drumming on that was great, and then the God Hates Us All album was probably maybe his best work. Uh, he just had a lot of cool stuff going on in the background in those albums, even on the new one, Repentless. But of course, the best Slayer albums are their early work, like going back from Show No Mercy to Hell Awaits, and obviously Rain and Blood. The immortal Rain and Blood, Seasons in the Abyss was an excellent album. So, guys, talking about future stuff from my channel, what's something you guys might like to see me do? I could always use some ideas. I'm always up for that. Ideas, critique. But I like to think I have a pretty wide variety in my channel. I still do the sci-fi, the science fiction corner as well sometimes. I may not be as active with that as I would like, but they don't seem to get as many views, unfortunately. But I still will do that. I'm still going to do the science fiction corner no matter what. And sometimes I do my Sega Genesis video game videos. And a lot of those are some of my most viewed videos, surprisingly. Definitely plan to do some more of that in the future. Some video game stuff, the old school video games, mainly Sega Genesis. That's what I love. And I just got a new game for that recently. A new old game called Sunset Riders. So I'm going to be doing a video on that soon, hopefully. A classic Sega Genesis game. That was also on Nintendo, but I have it on Sega Genesis. The Sunset Riders. You guys remember that one? Classic game with the like cowboy shoot 'em up game. And you can play 2 players on that one too. It's a lot of fun. Really fun game. A lot of cool co-op games on the Sega Genesis. Obviously, the best being Streets of Rage. Incredible fighting game, co-op fighting game, which I think is probably the best co-op fighting game of all time. Well, beat 'em up game, I should say. Streets of Rage with that incredible soundtrack. That techno crazy soundtrack was just awesome. While you're beating the shit out of people with steel pipes. I've never had more fun in a game just beating the crap out of somebody. It's amazing. It's like a good way to get your aggressions out, to beat the crap out of a dude with steel pipe. Love that game. Yeah, that's probably about it. I'm just gonna do my thing for as long as I possibly can. So that's one positive thing about this time I have to myself, because my wife is still working during the day. So I have a lot for the next couple weeks at least. I have some time on my hands, so I'm gonna be doing some videos. Which you can see I have cranked out a lot of videos lately because I've had more time in my hands. There was a while where I wasn't as active because I was very I was getting a lot of hours at my second job, so I didn't have time to do live streams and stuff. Didn't have time to do as many videos as I would like. But for a while, I'm gonna be doing more. I might do some more random live streams by myself. And I do have a live stream this week with Derek's Horror Corner, which is another channel I should have mentioned before. One of my favorite YouTubers, Derek's Horror Corner. A really cool guy, really fun, very knowledgeable. Oh, and got an absolutely fantastic channel. Very underrated. Definitely check out Derek's Horror Corner. We kind of have that name in common, don't we? So I'm going to be doing a live stream with Derek's Horror Corner this upcoming Friday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're going to be doing a live commentary of Maniac. That being the remake from 2012 starring Elijah Wood. We already did a live stream on the original Maniac from 1980 starring Joe Spinell, but this time we are doing the remake, which is also excellent. So yeah, I love both versions of that movie, whether it be the remake from 2012 or the original classic from 1980, which is my favorite solo slasher film, one shot slasher film. Yeah, I love both of them. They're both excellent, awesome movies. Some of the best slasher movies ever made. Yeah, and you're not gonna get a better remake than Maniac from 2012. There's It's definitely in the top 5 horror remakes, ever, easily, because there was just so much care put into it, you know? They actually cared about paying respect to the original as well as bringing something new to the table, which was the point of view shot from the killer's perspective that they did pretty much the whole movie in, which I found very interesting. And they did a lot of cool stuff, cool creative stuff with the camera work on that, which I loved. Like, I mean, the only time you really see Elijah Wood is in the mirror, or if he passes him by a mirror, or in the bathroom in the mirror, or wherever you see his reflection somewhere is the only time you see Elijah Wood's face. And I thought that was a really cool way of doing it. Because if you're gonna do a remake, do something different with it, you know? And I thought it was such a great way to respect the original too, because the story played out just like the original film, but in a different way because of that perspective from the killer, you know? So yeah, fantastic movie. It's definitely a more modern version of Maniac. Hey, what's up, Death Central? Welcome to the show. Live Horror Stream 8. I'm sorry, Live Horror Stream 9. The Reckoning. I can't even keep track of my own freaking shows. This is the Live Horror Stream 9. The Reckoning. Yeah, I always have fun doing these solo live streams now and then. Good times. But yeah, if you're just joining me, welcome to the show. We started off talking all about this crazy situation with the coronavirus, and that's basically why I'm here at home right now because of what's going on out there in the real world with the coronavirus. It's scary, isn't it? Like I said, it was really grim and eerie, going around my town at the center of town, and there's no businesses open. It's just black. It's like a ghost town. It's like a graveyard. But you can get your Dunkin' Donuts coffee. It's just crazy though. You can't go out to a restaurant even and sit down and have dinner. You gotta get takeout. Or same with Dunkin' Donuts even. You gotta get your coffee to take out. You can't sit and drink it. And which is sucks for social, outings. You can't hang out with your friends and talk in public, really, which is kinda weird. Hopefully, this all blows over and we can go get a pint at the Winchester and wait for it all to blow over like Shaun of the Dead style. That's what I plan to do. Yep, I'm on my 2nd week off. Well, same thing for you, Death Central? By the way, check out Death Central's channel, everybody. Great YouTuber, another great YouTuber. A little earlier, I was giving some shout outs to people, so let's give a shout out to Death Central. Does a lot of cool stuff like kill count videos on horror movies. That's always fun. Like if he'll talk about Friday 13th and do the kill count on one of the Friday 13th movies, or any kind of movie like a slasher movie where there's a lot of deaths and things like that. Really cool stuff. But yeah, this is my first day Death Central on lockdown. So my main job is considered non-essential, so I'm gonna be home for a while, undetermined how long, but they're starting with 2 weeks, but I'm sure it's gonna be longer than that. Come on now. There's no way this virus is going to be cured and solved within 2 weeks. I think maybe I'll end up working from home, but I don't know. Who knows? But I am working my second job still because it's an essential, considered essential. It's in grocery. They have grocery and pharmacy and stuff. So we'll still be doing that for a while. I don't know how long that's gonna go either. But yeah, but when I'm there, I swear I wash my hands like 100 times a day. Put hand sanitizer, all that stuff. We gotta do what we can to try and prevent this. And that's why I think it's good that we're doing this, to staying at home, keeping your distance from people, washing your hands constantly, staying sanitary. That's how we're gonna beat it. That's the only way. Stop and fight this thing. That's how we're gonna beat it, by not being out there and not being in contact with people as much as we can. So the government and the hospitals can treat this the way it needs to be treated. And that we can, hopefully, the scientists can, do their thing and study it and find out what's causing it, and how to beat it, just like they did with the flu. We have a vaccine for the flu, so hopefully they'll come up with something similar for this, where we can just take a shot and hopefully avoid it. I'm sure that's what it's gonna be like eventually, because it's got similar symptoms to the flu. It's got most of the same kind of symptoms as the flu. So if we came up with a vaccine for the flu, I'm sure we can come up with a vaccine for this coronavirus. You got brilliant scientists out there working on this stuff. And now they've got a huge budget that the government has given them. So let's put all that money we can towards research. Honestly, I know they plan to give out like stimulus checks and things like that, which I mean is nice in theory, but I think it's much more important that that money go to research up for them coming up with a cure, or for hospital care for people that do have it, health care for people that have it, and so they can treat the people that have it. I think that's much more important than giving it to people, that, because not everybody is in a situation where they're poor, or they might be getting paid to stay at home. But yeah, of course, some people do need it for sure, that maybe have been laid off from their jobs. So in that sense, I can see it. Maybe they can find a way to give it to only the people that really need it. In that sense, it would be good. I don't know. What's your thoughts on that, guys? Because there might be people that, I mean, does everyone deserve that money? So some people might just be already sitting on their ass long before that this happened. because there's people out there that just sit on their butt and collect money from the government that maybe don't deserve to. Yeah, there are people that are legitimately sick and have, problems that need it, but there's people that aren't too, that just kinda milk the system that maybe don't really deserve that money. So it's tough, to decide who deserves it and who doesn't. Obviously, anyone who gets laid off from their job deserves a stimulus check, and people that have been laid off from their jobs, or they had these mom and pop stores and shops that maybe were forced to shut down and maybe are not gonna be able to recover from this. That's the sad thing, is there's gonna be a lot of small businesses that are not gonna be able to recover from this because there's no revenue coming in. What are you gonna do? The government's forcing you to shut down. What are you gonna do? You're screwed. Anyway, guys, I'm probably gonna be wrapping this up soon. And everyone out in the chat there that joined us. We had the Soulless Trenchcoat join us. We had Death Central and Coffin Crew. Thank you so much for joining me in the chat today. I had a blast doing this. And expect some more of these random live streams, because I have some time in my hands now. Expect more videos from the horror corner. I got a lot of stuff I need to work on, some tag videos, some movie reviews. Check out my Invisible Man live stream. Death Central, it would have been a great time for YouTube to give me monetization, but they don't want me in the team. Sorry to hear that. I hope it does happen for you. Got a great channel, so keep doing what you're doing. Doing a great job. So yeah, guys. So like I said, I'm going to be working on Random Ross's body horror tag. So be on the lookout for that. Be on the lookout for Trash Pictures Show's sci-fi horror tag, which I'm going to work on hopefully today, and hopefully have it out by today. Check out my Invisible Man review. That's Invisible Man from 2020 this year. Check out the Horror Hangout live stream we did last week, all about John Carpenter. That was a great show. Check that out for sure. And I also did If I Could Only Have 5 Movies in My Horror Collection tag from Sharpshooter Horror. That's another cool channel I just kind of find out about, is Sharpshooter Horror. Check him out. Another really cool YouTuber. So this was a blast, guys. Giving some shout out to my homies out there in YouTube, my YouTube buddies, the horror tubers like myself, doing their thing. People like Death Central and Soulless Trenchcoat, Jen's Reviews from the Grave, The Horror Miser, Monty G, Horrific Nightmares, JM, Dave Maggot, Lisa Loves, The Movie Massacre Show. All those people are great. Check them all out. Check out Boogeyman Ben. Check out Christian Hannah Horror. Check out Derek's Horror Corner. Everybody, check them all out. Support the horror YouTube community, because this is such a great horror community that we have going. It's stronger and better than ever before, and I'm having such a blast. I am so proud and honored to be a part of it, which I've been a part of now for 8 years, and it's never been better than it is right now. So everybody, in this crisis we're having right now, let's all pull together and come up with some great content, some great entertainment to bring you horror fans out there while we have some time on our hands. Uh, So guys, thank you so much for joining me today on the live horror stream 9, The Reckoning. Been a blast hanging out with you. And if anybody wasn't able to catch the show, catch the replay. I'll post it on YouTube. And thank you for joining me, Sean Patrick Urshan, in the Horror Corner. Tune in and stay scared. Thank you, guys. Thanks for joining me today. Been a blast hanging out with everybody. Thank you so much. And tune in and stay scared. And if you love what you see here on this channel, like and subscribe to my channel and see all kinds of awesome content.